Hello, my name is Betsy Webb and I'm the Superintendent of the Bangor School Department. Today I'm joined by Steve Vanedistine, our Athletic Director at Bangor High School. So, Mr. Vanedistine, we are in the winter season.
Correct.
We're so excited
Yep.
because we had a successful fall season.
We did.
And we're going into the winter, and I think the first thing I'd like to talk about is the importance of academics and the role our mission plays in athletics.
Well, as usual, Dr. Webb, you're right. We ask every athlete to sign a contract to try to make the honor roll. And just by asking them and tabulating the fact that we have an end result, this fall, every team's GPA was 90 or above. Every single team.
Wow.
So
amazing.
I think the thing that we try to do is make it a priority that we are there for them for their academics. And the kids, as you know, in the soccer interview, they actually spoke of it themselves. So it works. And we really try to balance athletics with the academics. And it's part of what you call the total package. And we feel the experience here, first student and then an athlete, and we try to have it where we balance that with having a great time. And so if you can win and have a great experience, make the honor roll, we feel we've done our job.
That's right. And I know one time, and I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but one time you had shared with me how, where we stacked up with the percentage of athletes that made the honor roll as compared to the state. Do you remember that statistic?
Yes, the state average at the time was 35%. We are at 60%. It's my goal. We're just shy of that, but we are close. The people that I shared that with honestly could not believe it, and I had to show them that we did it, and that is the truth.
So it's almost a double.
Correct.
The state average of individual Bangor High School athletes that are making the honor roll.
And when we do all conference academics, I'll give you an example. One year there was 19 football players in the conference that made it, 12 were from Bangor.
Wow.
So when we go back to the registrar and we give them, we ask them for all the athletes that are 90% or above. I'm not involved. They give me a list. I send a list on to the league, and every year Bangor is at the top or above all the other schools as far as total athletes for all conference honors.
That's amazing. Well, I think the other thing that Bangor has worked hard on is to develop this culture where it doesn't matter what you're involved in. What matters is that you're involved. And I know that you've worked hard to make athletes comfortable being in the play or being in the band or competing on the math team, and that we find a way to support students being involved in multiple things.
Yeah, we thrive on that. We think it's great. We've had some great examples, but you're correct, Dr. Webb. We try very hard to have the athletes give more than they take. And so the coaches are the same. And if we have a big game coming up and the students in the play, we find a way to move practice so that they can be in both. We think it's important. A lot of these kids are taking 3, 4, 5 honors classes. They're in STEM. We have them actually, in some cases, miss part of practice because academics might take preference that day. And so we don't just say it. If you go to the English department or if you go to science, math, they will tell you that we support that effort, and the kids know that it's okay to come and say, Coach, I need to be at a STEM project, and I'll be there as soon as I can, and that happens on a regular basis.
Yeah, I think that's so important, really a part of college readiness, because then students have to manage time on their own, and they have to know how to navigate explaining from one professor to another or to an activity. And so those are important skills to learn while they're in high school.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And every time I see a returning graduate when they come in, and we certainly had the alumni basketball players come in the day after Thanksgiving, and it was a great time for kids to come back and see us for an hour or two. And we often ask them, I often do, how they do at school and how they did. And honestly, I have yet to have a student come back and say, I had a hard time. Almost to a T, every kid says, no, did great, it was comfortable. So this experience academically charged, prepares kids for that next level in a very, very great way. I mean, it's very efficient in that I don't think the kids go away hoping to do well. I think they go away knowing they can.
Yeah, I would agree. Isn't that the exciting part
Yeah,
about competition?
It really is. And then on top of that, we try to win. And we get letters or notes from people at McDonald's, and they'll write and call me and say we've never had kids more polite come in our business. So not only I wanted to say one thing. I'm really pleased. Our coaches are so in the most appropriate way involved with the kids, athletes. We have some great role models that care about the kids, not only during school, but in practice, and then also in their lives as far as going on to college to play or whatever. It's really neat to see. We have such high quality coaches. Like you've said forever, the quality of our education is our teachers. It's the same for us in the coaching piece. And we have some really, really good people. And our student athletes, we just had our parent meeting. The parents talked to me. It was just as comfortable. They come in, it was well attended. I think the Bangor community, honestly, they see and they trust us with their kids.
Right.
I really
right.
do.
I agree. So, thinking about the winter season, approximately how many teams do we have?
Well, watch this. We have 6 basketball teams. And most
Okay.
schools don't have all 3 levels. We have freshman, JV, and varsity.
Right.
2 hockey teams,
Yeah.
and so that we're really proud of that. 2 cheerleading teams.
Yeah.
We have that. 2 swim teams,
Yeah.
and the numbers are good there. We expect to do well in all of them. Obviously, the test for us, in the very height of it all, we used to get 4 or 5 championships a year, but we've averaged 2 championships at the state level annually
Right.
for the last 35 years. So we expect we've got 1, and so obviously we need a couple more. But if you go to the swim meets like I did Saturday, or go to the basketball, the best thing I think with having these opportunities, our athletes are supporting each other. If you go to hockey last night, you'll see boys and girls basketball players and swimmers, and when you go to swim, you see the kids going. So I think the level and the number of opportunities we have, certainly I think anyone that wants to be involved in something could be.
Right.
I do know our numbers are significantly higher than most schools when they have tryouts. Like we don't have any trouble fielding our
Right.
teams, and we actually have to have some sports that have a cutting policy.
Right.
Most schools are like girls basketball might be 19 total kids,
Right.
where we might have 54 and have to select.
Right. And so, thinking about the winter sports, I believe it would be swim and indoor track that are not a cut sport.
Correct. Right. Those are open, and we take anyone we can. And in fact, many times we'll have. It's not a JV program, but we have so many youngsters that we try to have a practice within a practice. So yes, those are open to everybody, and we always want, in every season, we try to have at least one of those offered.
Mm.
So if you want to be in cross country in the fall, if you want to compete, you can be in something where you wouldn't be sent home. So in the fall, cheerleading and cross country, anyone can come out and stay. Football, anyone can come out and stay.
Right.
And in our soccer programs, we carry probably close to 60 boys and 60 girls with the 3 teams we have. So again, it's significantly higher than most schools. And I think it's important to have that opportunity where someone's not sent home.
Right.
So we can always find a place. If you want to be involved here after school, you can be.
Well, there's lots of research that is going around in the coaching field or world about the importance of the multi-sport athlete. And that really, let's say your love is baseball, that you can be training and gaining from a different sport in the winter season that makes you that much better to be a baseball player in the spring.
It's interesting you say that. I know that personally for some coaches that I've talked to, they will not recruit an athlete that's great in the sport unless they're a multi-sport athlete. They want to see the person in another setting that they're not the best and how do they compete.
Right.
And they watch that. The second thing is, even Coach Johnson today, we were talking, Joe Johnson, he would rather see a girl be in 3 sports here than to play soccer year-round.
Right.
And the reason we're seeing that is we're seeing injuries because overuse. So if you switch sports, obviously the research shows that you use different muscle groups for different sports. So if you do one thing all the time as a young athlete, a lot of times you'll end up getting injuries because of overuse. So we like the soccer player to play soccer, no question, and we want that. But basketball in the winter's great, and then go back and play some soccer. But the kids that play all year round, it's wonderful, great opportunity for them. But we are seeing that kids that do 3 different sports seem to have less injuries.
Right, and I think there's the piece about motivation. It's
Yep.
fresh and it's
But
exciting.
yeah,
And I like what you're saying about you learn something different when you're at a different level in each sport. Your bottom line is you're still in a competition.
correct.
You're still part of a team. You're still working out and physically pushing yourself, but it could be different muscle groups when, if pushed, can even be at a greater level when you get back to
Correct.
that season of
And-
love.
And the reason that the major college likes to see the person in another sport is when you ultimately get to that sport you love at the college level, there are a lot of good athletes. So you're probably going to be put in a position where you're going to have to compete and not be the best.
Right.
So if you've done that in high school, so if I was a basketball player and had to be 10th man, but a real good baseball, football player, then I would have had to deal with that issue in high school because I wasn't the star athlete.
Right.
But when you go to college and you show up on a baseball or basketball team, you may look around and see a lot of good players. You need to compete, and if you haven't had to,
Right.
because you're the best, you're at a disadvantage. And so a lot of our kids come back and they have told us, and most of our athletes and kids that have gone on to great careers, what I love is they played the sport they're in, they won championships, happily went on to the next sport, just like the girls did this fall. It was great to see that. They walked off Dr. Webb like they were, Mr. V, where are we going for pizza? And it was just like the game was over and they won it and they were happy and now they were
On we
on.
go.
Yes,
On we go.
which is a good balance. It
That
really
is a good
is.
balance.
It's not the whole thing to them, but it's really important to them.
Yeah. Now, let's say there are community members that might want to come to a game and they don't understand like the ticket process and how all that works. Explain.
Well, we obviously, customer friendliness is huge. Senior citizens here come in, if Bangor residents come in to see Mrs. Miller, my secretary, they sign up, they get a pass, they come in. And we'll welcome them anytime they come, we do that. I do carry a few at the door, but what I try to do is have them come in and register so I know who they are.
Right.
And then the pass we have for the whole year is $40. So you can go from the fall right through the winter season for $40, which ends up being like less than $1 a game if you came to them. And that's really a good buy. The students we kept at 20. And currently we have a way for kids to find ways to get tickets. If they have indicated they want to come, they can't come. Mr. Butler and I have been pretty creative with trying to help kids learn a way to get here. But so we welcome the community. Right now, hockey, basketball, swim are things we charge for and well attended. So any Bangor resident that goes to those on a regular basis should purchase a pass. That's the best way. And we've found that even by offering that, the money that we collect ends up being the same as if we didn't have those. But so that's really nice. So love to have people come. Before Christmas is tough because there seems to be a lot of Christmas parties and shopping. But once Christmas ends, we really pick up, and then we really go from January in the middle of February. The crowds get bigger and better.
Right. Well, and I hope that citizens will join us. I tell you, being around young people today, it gives you such hope.
Yes.
They are wonderful young people. And to watch them compete and just be a part of the whole atmosphere at the games is really exciting. So please contact Mr. Vanedistine's office for any questions you may have, and we hope to see you at the game. Thank you.